I mean, lasers, really? To change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Go ahead.
It seems like whenever there's a man-made, a natural disaster that occurs, always look to the skies for impending doom. Months prior to these massive wildfires that engulfed Maui that ended numerous lives, multiple people are still missing, much more than what's being reported in the news. Mysterious green barcode-like lights were seen in the skies above in Hawaii in January, months prior to these wildfires. Now, nobody knew what these lights were, so when people were asking questions, the official reason behind these lights is that China's satellites were scanning Hawaii for pollutants and other things. What else were they scanning? We don't know. Why were they scanning pollutants in Hawaii, a state that does not belong to them? We don't know. But when you research a little bit more into this, when you go a little bit deeper, you will pick up on some keywords. You will pick up on probably, maybe, I think. I think this is what China was doing. This probably was China's satellites scanning for pollutants. So when you read between the lines, we really don't know what those lights were. All we know is, months later in August, these massive wildfires broke out on August 8th. 1 month to the day of these wildfires, on September 8th, we get this massive earthquake in Morocco that has ended almost 3,000 lives. An earthquake of this size, of this magnitude, a magnitude 7, has not hit this part of the world in over 100 years. Now, days prior to this massive earthquake that broke out in Morocco, many people saw strange lights racing in the sky, and also these strange orbs. Many people thought it may be UFOs, or maybe somebody is scanning this area. On September 8th in Marrakech, Morocco, there was these strange lights that were seen in the sky once again. 6 orbs that were floating and moving around. There were also other strange flashes of light in the sky and blue lightning caught on video just moments before this earthquake struck. Now, nobody knows exactly what these lights are, but some do believe that it is probably, and again, there goes that keyword, probably, a phenomenon known as earthquake lights. Now, this isn't the first time these lights were reported being seen. They were reported being seen all the way back in 1975, when a massive magnitude 7 earthquake hit Hawaii. And they were spotted more recently this year when massive tremors struck Turkey and Syria, and in 2017 above the skies of Mexico when a powerful 7 magnitude earthquake struck. Now, scientists don't know why this happens. It is a phenomenon they are aware of. They do believe it has something to do with the tectonic plates and static it's affecting the skies. But again, nobody has a definite answer as to why this happens. And these lights only occur when there's a massive earthquake. But then you have some people that are saying this is bogus. There are no such thing as earthquake lights. You have scientists who are actually skeptical that earthquakes are causing these lights, citing a strong lack of evidence, and that scientists should not try to explain something until you are sure there is something to be explained. And that's exactly what's happening here with these lights. They don't know what's causing it, they don't know what's actually going on, but they are explaining it. Again, make that make sense. There is also the question that was raised, why do they always look different? In 1975, when Hawaii reported their earthquake lights, they said it looked like an aurora borealis. In Turkey, their earthquake lights looked like a radio tower that was emitting light. Some can even look like scanning lights. So there is a lot of skepticism when it is said that earthquakes are producing these earthquake lights, due to all the mysteriousness and inconsistencies that surround them. And not just that, there are other oddities that appear in the skies as well just prior to a disaster. This strange lenticular cloud was spotted hovering over Turkey just prior to its massive earthquake. Now, because we're not getting a definite answer from scientists as to what these earthquake lights are, but they're trying to explain it anyway, some people happen to believe that this could be another example of weather modification. This could be the works of HAARP at play. Now you may be saying this can't be weather modification, because seeing these earthquake lights goes all the way back to 1975 to Hawaii. There is no way they could have this type of technology in 1975. But this type of technology, weather modification, has been known all the way back in 1945. And the first scientifically controlled and monitored weather modification took place in 1948, when Dr. Irving Landmuir first experimented with artificially seeding clouds to produce rain. Now get this, remember when I said these earthquake lights were first reported in Hawaii in 1975? Well, in 1975, the United States and Canada entered into an agreement under the United Nations for the exchange of information on weather modification activity. Now remember what I say in my videos, I am not a coincidence theorist. 1975, the United States gets the information of weather modification technology, and then coincidentally, in 1975, these earthquake lights first appear. Now for some reason, even though we know this technology exists, we have played with the weather before, for some reason, it's always considered a conspiracy theory. Now, they had this technology in 1975, about 50 years ago, and you mean to tell me they haven't progressed in their technology in the span of 50 years? I don't buy that. The government has this technology to end the lives of thousands upon thousands, blaming it on weather, but the government would never hurt their own people, right? Except the times they would start an event that would cause us to sweep the entirety of the Middle East, but they would never blame anything on weather. Oh no, because if you say so, you're just a kooky conspiracy theorist. A conspiracy theorist that drinks lemonade flavored bleach and eats lemonade lollipops. And this becomes even more terrifying when we're getting news from scientists that climate changing human activity could lead to 1 billion deaths over the next century, according to a new study. And I am sure they are being very generous with that number 1 billion, because you have to remember what the Georgia Guidestones state. They want a population of no more than 500 million. Jane Goodall at the World Economic Forum once said, the world would be at a better place if the population was where it was 500 years ago.
Cannot hide away from human population growth because, it underlies so many of the other problems. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago.
I wonder what Earth's population was 500 years ago. And 500 years ago, the Earth's population was just under 500 million. Again, it's only just a coincidence that they're coming up with these numbers. Now, this article states, if global warming reaches or exceeds only 2 degrees Celsius higher by 2100, it is likely that mainly richer humans will be responsible for the death of roughly 1 billion mainly poorer humans over the next century. Now, get the keyword used there as well, poorer humans. Us roaches, us bottom feeders, will mainly be wiped out due to global warming. And we have been seeing such a surge in these quote-unquote natural disasters, these terrible weather systems that have been occurring, hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. FEMA has even stated 3 weeks ago that this is a record year for catastrophes, that their disaster fund is slipping into the red even before hurricane season even peaks. And even though our Prez has come out twice on Twitter stating he was laser focused on helping Maui, FEMA's director has come out stating that the wildfires in Maui is now the new normal thanks to climate change. And on top of everything else, we have this massive hurricane, Hurricane Lee, that has been sitting to the east of us for days. Scientists can't truly predict its path because it's just sitting there. gaining more and more power. But some days it's a Hurricane 5, some days it's a Hurricane 4, some days it's a Hurricane 3, some days it goes back to a Hurricane 5, and now currently it's a Hurricane 3 again, just sitting there leveling up like a video game character, like a character off Dragon Ball Z. Might as well call it Hurricane Frieza, because it's sitting there getting stronger and stronger and stronger before it causes massive destruction. They say this is only a Hurricane 3, but the size of this hurricane has not changed, and looks like it's getting bigger. It looks like it can engulf the entire east coast of the United States. But hey, this is all normal. These hurricanes are normal, these wildfires are normal, these lights over Hawaii are all normal. It's just China helping us out with our pollutants, even though almost every day they're our enemy and we're about to go to war with them. They are helping us out with our pollutants. Make that make sense. In any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.